Hi everyone. If you're new here, my name is Amy and we're doing a live Q&A. I did that last time and you guys enjoyed it, so we are gonna go with this. I got some of your questions on Instagram and I isolated a few questions from Chanel and we'll tackle them first. So the first question from Alana, May 25, what is the best way to store my new pre-love Chanel double flap? So I don't own a pre-loved Chanel double flap. And I will assume that if it's quite vintage and if it's lambskin, that it would have maybe lost some of the structure. So I brought this to show and tell instead. So this is my, let's just hide the screen for a moment. So this is my Chanel 19. It is in lambskin. I know it's not the same bag, but I just wanted to use this bag to show and tell and present my solution. Obviously, there's no one size fits all answers, I guess, but this is what I would do. So the Chanel 19 is known to have kind of like a softer structure. And if you don't store it well, then it can start sagging, especially if you have the larger sizes. Again, I don't know which size bag you have and how old yours is, but the only solution that I've always known and always done myself is to store it with a organizer. So you can go with any brands. I have a Samorga, and I do suggest the 2mm felt, which is the standard felt, because the thickness of it provides enough structure, but not so rigid that it will kind of create different kind of creases on your bag. And I use this mainly to store my bag and to make sure that all the corners and that the bag stands up on its own for a long time. I don't always use this when I carry the bag because I quite enjoy the pillow or kind of like the slouchier way this bag performs. But if you were to store it like this, see how if you just store it like this for a long time, it will start sagging. You can see how it's losing a bit of structure already here, which is why I've only known of one way of storing and of preserving your bags long term, which is to provide some sort of support in the inside. So I recommend an organizer. This is the only way that I've known. I know there are companies out there that make pillows for your bag, so you could potentially look into that. But I just wonder with the pillows, unless they are really custom, like exactly to the angular shape of your bag inside, pillows can also kind of puff out your bag in different angles that you might not like. So I still prefer a custom organizer like this, so made to the exact dimensions of your bag. So hopefully you can find something that fits exactly your classic flap. Again, I'm not sure which classic flap you're referring to, but I will show you one more look. See how I just inserted my Samorga 2mm felt? It fills up all the space and it creates more of a structure. You see how now I'm holding it from the bottom, it doesn't sag as much, right? So that's the only way I would recommend. I'll link to my Samorga code if you want to use it to save a bit, if you want to look into Samorga. But yeah, if any of you know any other ways to store your classic flap better than this, please let us know in the comment section, because I don't know any other ways. But I hope it was helpful. Hi, Michelle. Yes, 新年快樂. Today is actually not today. Well, today for Asia, but tomorrow for us, February the 10th, is the Dragon Lunar New Year. So it's going to be a lot of partying, a lot of eating for a lot of Asian families. Okay, let's move on to the next question that I've isolated. Again, I'm going to just do all the Chanel questions first. So let's do this one from Aiding. Did your Gabrielle Chanel bag have any peeling on the chains previously? No, my bag was totally fine. I don't have my Gabrielle to show you anymore, but because I have rehomed them. But I know some of you have reported to me in the past, so I'll just use this chain as an example, that your chain started to have peeling on the leathers. And I think the ones of you who have reported that problem are mainly from Singapore. So I don't know if it maybe has to do more with the weather because of the constant humidity, because both of my Gabrielle bags are in pristine condition when I rehome them. And I literally rehomed them, one last year and one recently. So I've had them for years. I've used them. Obviously, I take really good care of them, but I've never had any issues with the peeling of the straps. So I suspect it's the weather. I'm not sure if it's also maybe because I never really wear in the rain and things like that. Like I do avoid, if I know that the weather is not going to be good, I do avoid my nicer luxury bags. So I usually avoid Hermes and Chanel. I may wear my LV twice because that's sort of like my ride or die in terms of like I just don't even care if it wear and tears. It's fine because I just wear that bag to death. But everything else I try to just wear when the weather permits. So I'm sure that helps. But yeah, I have had no issues with mine. I know that Chanel will fix it if you take it in. They will charge a fee. I heard from my subscribers in Singapore back then they would charge about $200. It sucks, but I guess it's still better to have it fixed than not. But I haven't had any issues myself. Oh, Maria Robinson loves Samorga and Chanel bags. I use the 1 millimeter. Exactly. I have a combination of 1 millimeter and 2 millimeter felt organizers. I like both of them. I use both of them for different reasons. For the 19, I like the 2, but only because I use it mainly for storage. Again, the 19, I use the bag without organizer when I'm actually carrying the bag. For the 22, I also use a 2 millimeter. For this, I also use a 2 millimeter. But most other bags that I just want some protection, but not necessarily structure, I use a 1 millimeter then. And it's also lighter. So for my Kelly 25, I use a 1 millimeter. For my Birkin 25, I think I also have a 1 millimeter. Hi, Ollie. Okay, moving on to the next question. And I think this was the other Chanel question from Le Zoe Wei. Is it worth buying the Chanel 24P22 denim bag? I know exactly which one we're talking about, so let me just go and find it. But I will show and tell with my own. So let me just quickly do a search. Chanel 22. It's so cute. Okay, so there are 2 different ones from this season. They're oh, sorry about that. I was just there. I just found it and then I clicked off. Let me go search it again. Chanel 22. There you go. Let me share my other screen so that you can see which ones are from the 24P. This one. So these 2, right? There's a mini size, there's a regular size. I'm sure they have more in store. Is it worth it? Let's click on this one. Let's just look at the bigger size. This is the small size, which is the size that I have. It's currently $7,000, so it's slightly less than the leather version, but still very expensive. The mini is just a few hundred less. I think that if it's money, like if it's the money value, is it worth it? I think at this point, most things at Chanel for the price, it is not worth it. But I think with this bag, and like I said, I'm gonna use mine as a show and tell, why I find this bag to be totally one of my best purchases, and for me it's a worthwhile purchase, is because this literally has become my lifestyle bag. It's the bag that I have lying close to the door, like in my bedroom, right? Like every other bags is on the shelf, nicely displayed and stored. But this and the mini size Chanel 22, they're literally close by the door or on a chair, because it's the bag that I'm most likely using on a day-to-day basis. If I wanted the bigger one, I'll grab the bigger size. If I wanted a mini one, I'll grab the mini size. And it's really, really easy to just, like if I just want to go out, I open it, I throw my wallet, my phone, my sanitizer, whatever else, snacks, and I just slung it and go. So it has become sort of my everyday bag. It really has. I think I also really enjoy the aesthetic of it because I love Chanel. There is something about it that is so cool, that is so easy, very carefree, goes with everything. Obviously, I'm not wearing this to a wedding or, I mean, you could, if you have the mini size, you could definitely do weddings with that one. But for me, it's really has become my everyday lifestyle bag. So, uh, barring the super stormy weather, no, I'm not gonna take it out when it's like pouring rain or snowing like crazy. But on a regular day, if it's just a little drizzle, I'll bring an umbrella. I'll still carry this bag. So it really is my everyday bag. And so from that perspective, yes, it is totally worth it. Is it worth the price? Probably not. It's too expensive, but it's worth it if you really think that you can make that kind of use out of it. Like for me, it has become an everyday bag, so it's worth it from that perspective. There are cons with this bag, just like every other bag. There are pros and cons. I will say the biggest con, and which I have also experienced with the first time I bought this one, which was last year. I experienced some rubbing and the leather peeling from underneath here. So right underneath here. And it literally was within the first couple use. It was, I got it in June. I didn't really pay attention to it until a lot of people started reporting that issue online. And then I looked at my bag, and a lot of subscribers also asked me if I had problems. Then I discovered that, yeah, it was happening to mine too. It was sort of, I don't know, I guess I was unlucky. Maybe it was that batch of leather. So that's okay for me now, because not only did I mitigate the problem by buying these protectors. So these are leather. You see the leather inserts that I use. So I know I can use the bag freely without worrying about the wear and tear here, because that's the main issue for me. I don't have any other issues with this bag. I will say that's the main issue. The denim, I never own a denim 22, so that I don't know how the denim will wear and tear. Aside from here, the fabric itself can maybe get easily, I don't know, if like you had sharp objects, maybe it will like nick the fabric. Things like that can happen. Maybe the corner will have a different kind of wear. So I think you should only buy it if you absolutely love this combination, the denim combination, which is, let's show it again, this one, right? It's a beautiful, beautiful bag. I think if you like this season's denim, because it has a nice, very thickly stitched quilted pattern. The denim has like a wash to it, so it's not super dark, it's not super light, it's sort of in between. If you love a silver hardware, it's so cute. Yeah, it's really cute. So, and it comes with the extra pouch. So go for it if you absolutely love this design, this combination. But yeah, I will say it's so subjective whether this bag is worth it, because if you're gonna buy it but not really use it, maybe it's not worth it. But if you're like me, you see yourself using this often, maybe you live in a sunny area that doesn't rain a lot, then it's perfect for you, right? So it just really depends. It really, really depends. But I hope it was helpful. And I will link to the ones that I have, these protectors, because these ones are the best ones that I've come across. These ones are leather and they have matching colors too. Obviously, it's not going to be like 100% matching, but if you have a white version of this, a red version of this, or a green version of this, they have the matching color leathers, which to me, those are this has been the best side protectors that I've come across, and it's from Emery. I've already linked it in the notes in the description. Oh my gosh, someone is texting, so I hope you guys are not hearing the ding. All right. Next question. Okay, let's look at this question. I thought this was interesting. Does your Hermes essay, from Amy Chan, does your Hermes essay know that you are an influencer or content creator? No, absolutely not. I am super low key when it comes to that, because why actually? I don't know. I just feel so awkward. Like if all of a sudden people ask me like, "Oh, are you the are you the YouTuber?" I get so like surprised whenever someone just like comes to me and asks me, "Oh, are you the YouTuber, or are you Amy, or whatever?" I mean, it's nice. I'd love it if you guys come and say hi, but I don't really make that a public thing. So whenever I meet a new essay or I shop anywhere, I don't just tell people, "Oh yeah, I make YouTube videos too." I don't know. I don't talk about it. So my store does not know, and I don't care that they know or not know, because it has nothing to do with me shopping there. I feel like being a content creator, influencer, on top of the fact that it's just sort of like a hobby for me, it's just like any other job. Like if you're a doctor or a lawyer, are you automatically going to tell your essay that you're a doctor or lawyer? Like, you know what I mean? It's just it it's not the kind of conversation that comes up. However, if let's say I don't know, they like, nowadays everybody is on social media, right? Everybody has Instagram, and if someone wants to like, I don't know, follow me on Insta, or like or maybe just the conversation comes up, like a picture of me wearing a certain outfit, and let's say I show that outfit to that person and they notice that, "Oh, your handle name is whatever," then that conversation might come up, and that can be more fluid in terms of like talking about, "Oh yeah, I mean, I do make some content online and stuff like that," but it doesn't automatically come up. It's just a natural thing if it ever comes up. So yeah, my essay does not know, but it was funny because one time I was buying a scarf, and I think it was, yeah, I think it was early on with my essay when that's like another story I might talk about another day, but I actually had changed essay, and so my new essay was like, "Oh, you kind of look like someone I've seen," and she wasn't sure, right? It could have been just in the store that like I was walking around before. And then she realized that I was a person who made the scarf video on YouTube, and she happened to have watched that video because she was looking for different ways to wear a scarf. So then she realized that, oh, I made that video, but I like the conversation just ended there. It didn't really progress like, "Oh, how often do you make videos?" and things like that. It was never like that. She was just like, "Oh, wow, it's so cool that you make videos." It was just like that. So yeah, most of my other essays don't know. If they haven't seen or heard or been told that I was on YouTube, um, they don't know, and I don't care that they know or not, basically. Okay, does that make sense? That makes sense. Like you guys, you like automatically talk about what you do. I don't. And plus, my actual regular job is so boring. Okay, next question by Margaret MS. What do you think of the new Hermes Della Cavalleria Elan? Yes. So that's the elongated version of the Della. Let's see if we can find a picture so we can show it. Yes, this one. Let's see if we can find a real. Yes, this one from the Hermes site. Let's see if we can just click in it and show that. It's trying to verify if I'm a robot. Nope, never mind. Maybe we'll just show whatever Google is showing. Oh my goodness, why is it so hard to just... Here, we'll just show this one. So it's the same bag, except that it's the East-West version. So the kind of like the more dressy version, it's elongated. It looks like, actually, no, the strap is different too. The strap thickness is the same, it looks like, but the strap is actually attached to the side because the regular ones, or the original one, is from the back. It attaches from the back. Let's see if I can find a, yeah, here, you see? This is the regular size, right? The one that I have. The straps go from the back. I think we can actually look at this one. Why does it keep thinking that I'm a robot? Oh my gosh. Never mind. Anyway, you guys know what I mean. So this is the regular version, right? Where the strap attaches from the back. Whereas the Elan is this one, is kind of like an East-West design, right? The straps are from the side. What do I think about it? I like it. It's quite nice as an East-West design using the same concept. And I think I might even prefer this version because I'm someone who's more into a more feminine style. And I feel like this makes it a little bit more feminine by making it East-West. Obviously, I don't own this version, so I mean, I can only imagine that it will look pretty cute and more feminine on the body. I can't find any picture of anyone wearing it. Or is this one? Oh yeah, here. See how I can imagine her like actually wearing it crossbody, and it would look really cute. So I mean, I like it. Do I love it? I think no. I think, you know, between the two different ones, I do like this updated version more, because I've always thought that the version that I have is a little bit masculine because, to me anyway, it looks a bit too bulgy, and with the thicker strap, it looks a bit too masculine. So I would probably prefer this newer configuration, East-West. What do you guys think? I don't know. Do I need to have this one too? No, I don't think so. But I do like it. I think I do like it. Okay. Let's go back to our list of questions. We answered that. From Wally R17, tell us more about your Hermes journey. What's coming up? I wish I knew what's coming up. This year, my wish is quite simple. Because we only have the one bag limit per year quota system, the only bag I'm wishing this year is for the Constance 18. Although I know the Constance 18 is not considered a quota bag in many other countries, it is apparently still a quota bag here. Because I think if you were offered a Constance 18, it's very hard to get an actual like Birkin and Kelly the same year. Like they probably won't do it. It's still basically a quota bag. So since I already have a Birkin, I have a Kelly 25, I have a mini Kelly at this point. I would like to get a Constance 18 finally because, I've got all the slim wallet, the to-go wallet. Those are just sort of like I'm just trying to get a taste of the regular Constance without even getting the actual bag. So it's a bit frustrating because it's still not the same thing. So yeah, that hopefully is what's coming up. I don't know because I heard that the Constance is kind of limited here, and hopefully if it's the only bag that I'm asking for this year, that they would be able to find one for me. But yeah, that's what's coming up. In terms of anything else outside of bags, I am interested in the new spring summer collection. I saw many very cute ready to wear, so I'm really excited about that. Um, their new jewelry, which has what's the design called? It's like the little nub design, is so cute. However, I find it a bit expensive. Don't you guys agree? After this increase this January, a lot of things went up in price. However, I do find that even their new jewelry line, which normally they don't start at these kind of price points, right? Like in the past, it used to be a little lower, but this year they have been really expensive. Here, let me show you. So this is the new line of jewelry, right? It's called Hermes Clou. Clou means nail in French, right? So it kind of looks like a little nail. It's really pretty. Like, look at those earrings. They're so gorgeous. And the design is so simple, but very effective. Like, it makes it look edgy and wearable, not too crazy. But why is the price so insane? Like, wow, this ring, why is it 14,000? Like, these are really insane prices. And okay, I know this is like 2000, but it's such a simple ring that like it's just a little tiny little band with the little nail attached to it, which, this a similar design to this in past years would be in the 1000 range. So why is this range so expensive? This gorgeous necklace, 11,000. I'm like, wow, they really started it off high, right? 9,800. It's wow, 11,000 for this. And without any diamonds, it's still 6,750. I mean, it's just crazy. It's crazy, right? Like this whole line, these earrings are cute, but they're very small studs with tiny little diamonds. 7,000 after tax. It's wow, it's insane. So I'm not sure I will go for this jewelry line. I mean, I still haven't seen it in person yet because I haven't visited my store um, more recently. So I haven't seen this new collection yet, but it's kind of pricey. So I think I'm mostly interested myself, right? I'm mostly interested in the new ready to wear. There are some shoes that I'm interested, but at the end of the day, it's all it's all buying the same thing. Like I'm just buying more of the ready to wear, more of the same shoes that I like, I think, because this jewelry line, although I like it, I find it a bit pricey, and I'd rather buy some Tiffany, which is also on my wish list. That never-ending wish list. That dang wish list. All right. Let's move on to the next question. This is a good one. Lady J1, how do you gently remind your essay that you're waiting for a certain thing on your wish list? Oh my goodness. Like I said earlier, I feel like there's no one size fits all answers because I can only tell you what I would do, but it might not work for you or it might just not work for everyone. And it might not even work for me because it just depends. I find that, well, generally speaking, right? I find that if you have an essay that is sort of on the same wavelength as you in terms of personality, like you should be able to communicate with the same style. So, for instance, for me, right, I'm someone who's quite gentle. Like, I'm never loud. I don't really joke. That's not me. I'm just such um, a mellow person. But I also don't like to be pushed, and like I don't work well with essays that gives me the pressure to buy something because deep down I know what I like and don't like. And so when I feel pressured and not have enough of my own freedom and time to think about something, sometimes it takes me like another visit to think about the same item that I want to buy. Sometimes I like it immediately and I want to buy it right away. So I'm just someone who needs someone close to that kind of personality to work with me well. And I would only imagine how I would like to be approached. Let's say I was the essay, right? I would only imagine how I would like to be approached in terms of reminding of wish lists and things like that. Like you want to be able to talk about it, but without nagging. Like I think it's fair to talk about your wish list and to remind once in a while, especially if some time has passed and nothing has yet happened. I think it's fair to bring that conversation up, but not like every single time I see you. Like, do you know what I mean? Unless every time I see you is like 3 months later, which is a different story. In general, I visit my store once or twice a month, so it's quite frequent. So I don't bring it up every time. I'll bring it up. Well, it depends on my mood too, but I'll bring it up when I feel like I should bring it up. There are times where I feel a bit impatient and I feel like I need to voice it again, like just to remind them. Doesn't mean that anything will happen just because you're talking about it. No, because if they don't have the bag or they don't have the item, they just don't have it. Um, and so there's also a little bit of my own expectations that I kind of have to adjust to. So at the end of the day, I feel like I should be able to at any time that I feel adequate to speak about the wish list. But I am someone who is very well aware that I don't want to come across as nagging, as demanding, as like I'm just not that type of person. So I would want that to be kind of reciprocated to me. So how I go about it, I bring it up here and there, like not super often. Sometimes I do bring it up after a big purchase because I feel like that kinda helps you too, like, they just saw you, you just shop with them, you bought a few things, it's a big shopping trip. I feel like that's fair for you to like, "Oh, by the way, don't forget my wish list, okay? Keep me in mind when it comes up." Like, I think that's super fair to say at the same time just because it's also transactional in a way because although it's a relationship, you wanna be respectful and nice. I feel at the end of the day, you also don't want them to forget that you're waiting for the ultimate wish, right? It's not because you don't like anything else that you buy, but you really want you really want your wish list, right? At the end of the day, that's the ultimate goal. So, does that make sense? I'll just bring it up whenever, but periodically, not constantly. But a bigger, larger shopping trip usually helps in bringing that up at the same time. And also, I feel like anytime I'm sitting down with my essay, so anytime I'm looking at jewelry, jewelry is usually like a more expensive purchase, then I bring it up as well because I think it's fair to bring it up on those occasions too. Um, Yeah. I think that's it. Like I don't have any other tips other than that. Like it's very I think it comes across very naturally and very organically. And oh, another thing also, right? Let's say you're waiting for a bag, a quota bag, right? And you've already spent 2 to 1. Then I think it's fair to bring it up more often. Like maybe not in a nagging fashion, but like I think once you hit a certain level of spending, I think it's okay to bring it up. Doesn't mean that you're going to stop shopping, but I think at that point in time, even your essay is aware that they should start looking for your bag. So that's also another time to bring up when your spend is already there. Then I think it's more than fair to start to remind them more frequently. So I hope this helps. Oh, that's a good question. Let's answer this from Louis. Amy, do you think if purchasing leather goods will not go towards your pre-spend, such as the Constance to Go wallet? So I was told that it doesn't count. Now, does it mean that you shouldn't buy it just because it doesn't count? I don't think so. I feel like with Hermes or any other brand, you should buy things that you really truly think that you will get use out of. It will still add to your profile in terms of like the variety of things that you buy, but it will not count towards, as far as I know, it will not count towards the actual spend ratio for your quota bag because let's say you're someone who just buys leather goods, then if all of those counts because leather goods are just so popular as well, then I guess it's not fair to other customers, or maybe it's just not as fair of a system for Hermes to kind of determine your spend. Does that make sense? But I mean, that's what I've been told. I think there are some stores that maybe are more lenient and maybe it does count for them. Um, as far as I know, it doesn't count in Vancouver and it doesn't count in many places. So leather goods, generally speaking, does not count, which is why I don't really rely, and I don't really buy a lot of leather goods myself. Like I haven't even bought like a Basia or like a Calvi. Like I feel like if I bought those things, they'll just be sitting around because I only use one card holder and I never change out of it. Um, so I mean, they're nice, right? They're different colors, different leathers, so it's nice to collect them if you're into collecting. But for me, it would serve no purpose whatsoever, which is why I don't buy them. The Constance to Go, it's something that I was like, I wish for only because I kind of wanted the idea of a Constance 18, but simply because I couldn't get one in the same year. I didn't know when I would get one. So I got it, but it was quite an expensive wallet, I will say. Um, and it's still not going to be exactly the same bag, right? But it is a really nice wallet, though. I will say it has been more versatile than I had imagined it to be. But yeah, generally speaking, leather goods don't count as far as I know. Okay, I think there's one more question on this page from Mini Footprints. How are you celebrating Valentine's Day? I have no idea. We don't really do anything special ever every year. We didn't even do anything special on our actual 10th year anniversary last year. So I I mean it would be nice to do something, but I'm not someone who's like like I said earlier, like I'm not someone who's demanding. I don't demand like it has to have flowers and chocolates like on the day of. I think every day should be a day that you appreciate each other. So I think those little surprises or little gifts, whatever, should happen at any time during the year. It doesn't have to be the day of. But I know what you mean. Like it would be nice, right, to like be having a special celebration on the day of. But I will say in the last 10 years that I was married to my husband, I think only the first year I got like chocolates. That's it. Like every other year, there's nothing. And I'm not saying in a bad way because I feel like the appreciation, can be in other forms too. And honestly, I can buy my own chocolates. Like, I don't really care. So I have no idea how it will go this year. I'll let you know once we pass that date. How about that? We'll see if this year is any different. But the chances are is that it'll just be any other day. It'll just be like any regular day. But we do appreciate each other, so I don't think of it in a negative way. Okay, we have another page of question. Let me bring those up. How do you guys celebrate your Valentine's Day? I'm gonna ask you guys back. Is it really special? Like, mine is definitely not special. We barely even do anything on an actual anniversary, like on an actual wedding anniversary, just because, I don't know. Maybe I'm not demanding enough. Oh my goodness. Okay, so we've gone through these questions. Let's talk about this one. What is your favorite non-quota bag from Hermes? Yes, I have it here to show you. I was debating between, well, the ones that I have, which really is, there's only a few. And I have to pick this one. I think I've talked to you guys about this one for so many times already. This one is extra special. This is the Picotin 18, but mine is in the exotic handle, which is why it's so special to me. This one is, wow, I don't know. Okay, this strap doesn't come with it. We'll talk about the strap later, but this is the bag. And I love that mine is touch in the, what is it called? The matte alligator handle. And the bag itself is in Clémence. I love this exact combination. Even the fact that it's palladium, I think it's so good. This is my touch Pegasus as well, which goes so well together. And this strap, right? This strap, I've added it recently. It just adds to the bag. I don't really use it all the time. I just leave it hanging because I think it's just, it kind of goes well together. It matches quite well. Even the leather is quite similar. Again, this is from Emery. I'll link it down below as well. It's the same site as where I got the side protectors for the Chanel 22. But this strap is awesome to just give your arms a little break if you need to be hands-free. It just lays at the right, oh, it's just so perfect. Obviously, I don't really carry this bag like that all the time because it's going to be wide open and it's like, I don't know. I don't carry it really like that all the time, but I like having the strap as an option for hands-free. But otherwise it just sits like that and it's really, really nicely tucked on the side. Yeah, this is my favorite non-quota bag. Why? Because at least this style of bag, the Picotin itself, the bucket version, mine is in the size 18, by the way. And I have videos on all the bags that I have. You guys can just search it on YouTube. It's a more accessible style, meaning that you technically don't need a pre-spend for it. You technically can get it a little bit easier just because it's a popular style, but it's not as popular as, say, a Mini Lindy, right? The price point is also really good. Obviously, with the touch, it's going to be a bit more expensive, but generally speaking, this style bag has a very good price point. It's an entry-level price point, but I don't know. Every time I look at this bag and every time I carry this bag, I don't feel like it's a cheap bag. It's a very, very well-made bag. I honestly think that the touch makes the structure of this bag, which is why I love it. I love this exact combination even more. So I love mine basically. Yeah, I think that's the reason why it is my favorite non-quota bag. I always rave about this one. I think you guys have heard about me talking about it so much already, right? And of course, I always use So this is another instance of the Samorga organizer. I used a 2mm felt. It's the perfect organizer. It fits like a glove. It closes and opens with it. Doesn't have any crazy creases on the side. You don't see anything, right? Keeps the shape really well. Of course, the handles help. And it keeps the inside super clean. So yeah, if I didn't have any quota bags, this would still be my favorite bag from Hermes. It's that good. And it's also like there's a bit of a femininity to it too. At the end of the day, I like bags that are a bit feminine, but also like it doesn't have to be super feminine. Like it just has a touch of femininity and it's still edgy, easy to use, practical. Yeah, that's why I like it a lot. I really, really like it. Maria has a good question. Let's tackle this. How do you carry the Constants to go for the daytime? I should make an updated video on it because I've been getting a lot of questions on the Constants to go lately. I don't, Maria. This is why I said that the Constants to go is still not like the bag, right? Like I feel like it's still missing the, I guess at the end of the day, it's the space. Like it's limited in terms of the space. So for the daytime, like on a day-to-day basis, I don't really carry it because it's too limiting. And so for me, the Constants to go was great to use during travel because ultimately I got it around the same time, like right before my cruise. So I was so excited for it because I was imagining all the different outfits I was going to style with it. And it worked out so perfectly during my trip because day to day during my trip, I like to be lightweight. I like to not carry too much. And honestly, I don't have my bulkier daily items. So I didn't have my key holder. I didn't have, like, I didn't have like the bulkier things that I needed every day. Like, I didn't have my car keys. So I was able to fit everything else, like my phone, some cash, um, a little lip product. I was able to put that in. And that was the perfect size for it, even my passport. But outside of being in like a travel setting, I found the Constants to go to not really work as an everyday bag. So yeah, that's something that I only realized afterwards, obviously. But as a travel bag, it's actually quite good, especially if you love mini bags and you like to be lightweight. And also it really worked with every outfit. Like I was so casual at one point and I was so dressy at one point, and it was elevating both of those outfits, those styles. But yeah, every bag has its pros and cons. I will say like the Constants to go is, has its limits for sure. Okay, I think Louis has another follow-up question. Also, do you know if purchasing leather goods will delay your chances of getting your quota bag? Good question. I think it somewhat does, but it depends what it is. Again, that's just what I think, just because I I I don't know. I just imagine those things, but I also sometimes am curious and I ask. I'm like, "Oh, if I ask for a Constance to go now, does it mean like my bag's gonna come a little later, or is it gonna delay?" Like then I'll let my essay answer this. If she says like, "Oh, maybe a little bit, it may be better to wait for the quota bag," then I just don't even ask for any leather goods. I think if it's a smaller one, like if it's just a card holder, those don't really matter that much. But if it's a bigger leather good, especially those that are just as popular as the quota bags, such as the wallets to go, they are really, really popular. I think those can maybe delay a little bit, but I think it just depends on your essay too. I think different essays just work differently. I don't think there is a rule at the store level that will necessarily delay your quota bag, but I do think that some essays don't. Maybe they just offer things so close together. I'm not sure why. But I generally will ask my essay if, let's say I have, actually a good example is, because technically you're allowed one quota bag and one non-quota bag every year here. And so I will ask my essay, I'm like, oh, if I ask for like, let's say a bolide, doesn't mean my quota bag, my actual quota bag, let's say Kelly, will be delayed. Then I'll let my essay answer. Most of the time, or each time I've asked something similar to that kind of questions, they will tell me, yeah, oh yeah, if you really want your quota bag sooner, then better not to get the non-quota bag, and I'll just forget about it. So yeah, I have a feeling it does, but it depends. Maybe ask your essay and then let me know. Generally speaking, I don't ask too many things, and I let enough time to space out between what I really ultimately wanted. So, like for the constants, for example, right? That's really the bag that I want this year. I'm literally not gonna get anything else between now and getting that bag. I'm really trying to concentrate on that, just because I don't want to distract my essay. And I know they have clients that also want the same things, probably, right? You're also competing with everyone else, not just not just like the clients in your store, but like all the clients that your essay has. So I just kind of want to keep things simple, and I just ask for one thing at a time that I really want. Unless I don't care about the order so much, then then I might make the exception. But generally speaking, I only work on one thing at a time. But that's just me. I don't know. How do you guys do it? I know everyone has totally different relationships, and sometimes it's not that hard. Like I know a lot of you have like different stories where it's a lot more casual and a lot more laid back than mine. I think mine is just definitely, like, my store is definitely quite competitive. So that's why I don't try to complicate things too much. Okay. This was a really fun question. Which would you pick? A new Hermes bag, a watch, or a new engagement ring? I was thinking about all three items, and I'm like, oh, which one do I want more? So let's start with the engagement ring. So actually, I'm not wearing mine right now, but it's just right there. So I'll just grab it. I actually really love my engagement ring. And I wouldn't really change it if I didn't have a really good reason. But let me just put it on. So my husband and I got married over 10 years ago. We just had our 10th anniversary last year. And this is my ring, right? There's absolutely nothing wrong with it, which is why I don't really feel like I need to change. But I know it's a trend these days to, like, get a bigger ring or get an upgrade and things like that. But I feel like my ring is so perfect already that I wouldn't want to change anything about it. The only thing that I could change about it is the size, really, to make it even bigger. But then, then it's going to be really, really flashy, because I think this is just the right amount of like, I don't even care about being flashy or not. It's just the right amount of jewelry for me. So I thought about the ring. I'm like, oh, it would be nice, right? But like, I don't really care about it. A watch would be interesting, even though I'm not like a watch person. I've always said that I don't really fancy watches that much, but I think it would be nice, especially a really, really coveted watch, a Rolex, or maybe the Cartier tank. Those would be really, really pretty. I'm sure it will go really well with this lock bracelet. So maybe a watch. But then between a watch and a bag, right? Which one would I rather? Right? This is the question. Which one would I rather? Another Hermes bag, a new bag, or a watch? Hmm. It depends on the bag. I think it will depend on the bag because again, I don't fancy a watch. Doesn't mean that I'll never really get one in my lifetime, but like right now, I don't really care about it. But it depends on the bag. I think if it was a very special combination of another Kelly, let's say another mini Kelly, but a very special combination, like a special order kind of type, I might go for the bag actually. Because like I said, like I don't normally fancy watches and I don't care to upgrade my rings. So I guess I'm more of a bag lover, you could say. That's what I would choose probably. But then again, it depends on the bag or it depends on the watch. What would you guys do? That's a really good question. That's a very fun question. But I didn't really give you a very like a very firm answer because I really don't know. I just don't think it would be the ring. So most likely it'll be the bag. Most likely. I don't know. Oh, it's a hard one. It's a hard one. Okay. And I saved the best question for last from Stella. What would you tell yourself if you could go back in the beginning, to the beginning of your age journey? Yeah, that's a loaded question. I feel that I would have told myself to brace yourself because you're about to spend a whole lot of your savings in this journey because it first of all, once you started, it's not really gonna end that like it's not like no matter how often you hear anybody on YouTube land say that, oh, I'm done, it's never done. Trust me, it's never done because there's always gonna be something new you want. So that's point number one. Be prepared to have a lot of your savings being spent at the fashion house because not only do you have to do the pre-spend, but just to buy these bags, right? Not this one, but like the quota bags. Every quota bags is in the tens of thousands, right? So it's a lot of commitment financially speaking. Second of all, is don't listen to what everybody else says. Don't listen to what your friend says, what you should or should not get. Don't listen to your essays sometimes. I feel like some essays really, maybe they are being helpful because maybe they are pushing some of the popular things on you that like a lot of clients have been liking. But if it's really not you, if it's really not your style, and deep down you're not ever really going to wear it and you know it better, yeah, just don't buy them. Don't listen to anybody except yourself because I have bought some things that, my essays have suggested. They say that it looks amazing on me. They say that it's very popular, whatever the reason, right? But some of those things worked out to be the worst purchases, never worn, ever hardly wear type of things. And yeah, they end up being in the worst purchase pile, which feels very bad because that's like again, financially speaking, is a lot of money wasted sitting on the shelves, never being used. And even to the extent of your friends or anybody else online telling you, they don't know you as well as you know yourself. Like I was told many times, right? Like, oh, the Kelly belt is just whatever. It's not that great. You might not like it that much. Turned out I love the Kelly belt so much. I have several. So like everyone's style is different. Everyone's lifestyle, everyone's how they enjoy their items is different. And so You know, just because someone else thinks that Epsom is the worst leather in the world doesn't mean that you're not going to enjoy Epsom the most. So take whatever other people's opinions with a very big grain of salt, basically, including your essays, including your best of friends, because at the end of the day, even though you may not be sure yet, but you have a hunch and you have a better sense of what you will like or dislike more. And so follow your heart most of the time. You know, if I made a decision and I follow my heart and it turns out to be the worst decision, which happens, I'm totally fine with it because I made the decision. So I'm going to be responsible for it. But if I listen to someone else convincing me of something I should or shouldn't get, and I make those decisions based on that, I feel even worse because I'm like, I can't blame them because at the end, I made the decisions too. But at the end of the day, I also feel like I should be blaming them, right? Like I would rather just listen to myself. Um, so yeah, does that make sense? Those are the main two things I would tell myself. Literally is, wow, financial commitment is gonna be beyond what you imagine. Beyond, like literally, there's no words. It's beyond. It's not even comparable to any luxury shopping I've done in the past. Um, it's a commitment. It really is. And second of all is, yeah, just listen to your own heart. You know yourself the best. If you love a piece of furniture, even though everybody says it sucks, buy it. Or vice versa. Like it's really just boils down to what you know works best for you. So those are the two most main things. Anything else? No, nothing. I think that's what I would tell myself, because I can tell myself to be patient and this and that, and I already know that, but like it's never gonna work. The patience thing is just you find out the hard way, because you can think that you have patience, but wow, when you're in it and you're waiting for that quota bag, or you know you've done your due diligence, you're let's say you're at a high spend ratio already, or like at the spend ratio supposedly, and the bag is still not there, you're still waiting. It takes, oh my gosh, it takes the patience of a Buddha to like go through that hurdle. It's every time it's super stressful. Like the journey never ends, and also it's stressful every single time. No matter how long you've had an experience, it's never really getting easier. It just, you just get more used to it, but it's never really easier, I would say. So don't believe what other people tell you. It's hard. It's really hard. Here's a comment from Queen J Nice. Yesterday, I was offered the Constance 18 in Vert Criquet, Touch in Crocodile. Touch Constance 18. That's interesting. Is it the strap that's Touch? What other parts of the Constance 18 is in Touch? It's interesting. I asked my essay before accepting if it would delay. My essay said no. You are definitely up for your next B and K croc. It depends on the store. Yes, definitely depends. Like I said, don't even listen to me. Don't even listen to me when it comes to like these kinds of things, because your relationship with your essay, with your store, with your city where you're located is unique, which is very different. Like I could have the same essay as someone who shops at my local store, and they would have a totally different relationship than mine. Maybe someone else would get offered like more things more frequently, and I don't know. And I, you know, like you can't compare just because it's, yeah, it's different. Every individual is different. Even if you shop at the same store, it's still different. Even if you share the same essay, it's still different. And I read something really, really, it was a really good advice. I read something, I can't remember now if it's on Purse Forum or somewhere, or maybe it's in the comment section. Someone said, it was a question being answered. Someone said to not ask for someone else's essays reference. Why? And I thought it was a good answer. Not saying that you should not do that, but I'm just saying, like, I thought it was a good way of thinking about it because she said that, just because they have a good relationship and they've had many offers, let's say, right, everything has been smooth and they enjoy each other's company and they work really well together, it doesn't mean that it will be like that for you. It could be the total opposite, even though you got the reference from that person. And I agree because, well, I've kind of had experience like that. Like, it was one thing with someone else, but it was another with me. So I totally agree with that. Sometimes it's not because people don't want to share their own essay. It's because, well, it's awkward. Second of all, it doesn't guarantee the same experience for you. So I thought that was a very, very good answer. Or a very good sharing in terms of experience. And I think we'll end with this because I have to get going, guys. We have a luxury live show following this for members. So from Elion, don't you think that it was better to go to the pre-love market and buy all your items directly in the specs you want without that hassle? Yes and no. I don't think that I will disagree with going pre-loved, that it could be a better option for many people, me included, actually. But I think I've shared in the members live too. I know, Elion, you're a member. I'm also kind of curious, and I kind of wanted to know how it feels to shop at my own store. I still wanted to have the experience. And so for me, I was more than willing and ready mentally to go through that hassle, if that makes sense. Like, do I regret my journey? No, not at all. Like, it wasn't easy by any means, and there's a lot that I am still not quite ready to share. But like, there's some stuff that happened, and it's not super unusual, but it's also what I've experienced. And it's not all bad, but it's not all good either. And so I will say I still don't regret the experience. I still would have wanted to go through it. Now, if it was really terrible, would I have continued? Of course not. Things were up, things were down, but every time, the situation was remedied, and I kept going. And so I think if you just thought about the 2 points that I mentioned earlier, in terms of the financial commitment, regardless of whether you went pre-loved or going through your store, your financial commitment is about the same. Maybe different, like slightly different, but it's still about the same, because you're either paying it in the premium for the quota bag, the exact bag that you want, or you're just buying a bunch of things, right, from your store, the pre-spend. The ratio may not be exactly the same, but you're still having to commit quite a bit, financially speaking. But in terms of the experience in buying things that you may not love at the end of the day, that I agree that going the pre-love market, you're getting exactly what you want. But I will ask you back, right? How do you know that that's exactly what you want? Especially because if you can't see or try those things in real life, granted, I couldn't try any of the bags of the quota bags that I wanted in my store either, but having the experience of all the other things that the store offers kind of gives me a glimpse of what I'm getting into, if that makes sense. Like, even though it's not the bags, but it's how beautifully made the scarves are. Like, Hermes scarves are the best in my opinion. They're the best. It's also the, I don't know, the tableware, and the ready to wear is just, it's okay. It's okay. I will say that the ready to wear is more like like office. I feel like their ready to wear is more like office wear. It's definitely not as exciting. It's not as fashionable as Chanel. So I don't get as excited with the ready to wear. I feel like when I buy ready to wear from Hermes, they're just things that I wear on a day to day, like just sort of like, I'm not trying to impress anyone, but it's nice quality. So yeah, really it boils down for me boils down to their shoes, their silks, and their leather goods that really are like another level of experience. So I do look forward to buying those things. I think once you're in the age journey for a little bit, you may get tired to a certain point. You might start dabbling into also the pre-love market, or both, or just the pre-love market. I think that's totally reasonable for people to do. As for myself, I might get there one day. um, I still want to get my constants from my store. Hopefully it'll happen this year, and then I'll decide what to do further down the road. But yeah, I totally understand your question, and without a doubt, there's no right or wrong answer. There's no one answer fits all. It really just depends also. But okay, I have to go, guys. Thank you so much for joining me on my live Q&A. Thank you for all the questions. If you're new to my channel, it would mean the world to me if you subscribe. I do Q&As, but I also do a lot of reviews on Chanel, Hermes. I love styling. And yeah, I love to have you join the channel. Thanks so much. Have a great weekend. Happy Chinese New Year if you celebrate it. And if you are a member, I'll see you in an hour. Bye. Oh, and I'll have everything I mentioned that you might like all the little accessories, linked down below shortly.